Away from the heart.
Away from the heart?
Mm-hmm.
Artery.
Arteries and blood to the heart are?
Veins.
What is the definition? What is the job of capillaries?
Exchange, filtration.
So exchange with the tissues. We have 3 different types of capillaries. What are the most common capillaries that are found in muscle tissue, neural tissue, and the skin? Continuous capillaries. And then we have capillaries that have large oval pores in them, are found in the kidneys for filtration, and found in the endocrine glands for reabsorption of hormones, fenestrated. Then we have those capillaries that look like they've been shot by a shotgun, have huge holes in them, and are found in places like your lymphatic vessel, your lymphatic organs, and your red bone marrow. Sinusoidal. Okay, what do we call a layer of a blood vessel? A tunic or tunica. And what is the one on the outside called?
Tunica externa.
Tunica externa. What kind of tissue is it made of?
Dense irregular tissue.
Dense irregular connective tissue. And its job is to?
Hold it together.
So, yeah, you kind of got the right idea. But how do they describe it in the textbook? Prevent it from
Overflowing.
Overstretching. Because if it gets overstretched, what are the 2 examples that we learned about in the human body? What do we call it when they get overstretched in the legs?
Varicose veins.
Varicose veins. And what do we call it when they get overstretched around your booty hole? Hemorrhoids. Yeah. What do you call the middle layer?
Tunica media.
Tunica media. And what 2 types of tissue do we normally find in the tunica media?
Smooth muscle.
Smooth muscle and elastic fiber. So the job of the tunica media is to
Dilate and constrict.
Okay, to vasodilate and vasoconstrict. And there's 2 reasons that we do that. One of it is to control blood flow to organs and tissues, and the other is to help regulate
Blood pressure.
blood pressure. What do we call the internal? What do we call it?
Intima.
Tunica intima. It's also called the tunica interna, depending on which textbook you get into. And what type of tissue makes it that up?
Squamous.
It must remain smooth. So what kind of tissue is it made of if it's got to remain smooth?
Non-keratinized.
Okay, what kind of tissue is endothelium?
Stratified, simple.
Squamous.
That's not cuboidal.
Wait,
What did you just say?
I just squamous.
Yeah,
I'm
this is
confusing
cuboidal.
myself.
Or this is cuboidal, this is columnar, this is squamous. Because if you go back and remember the 3 processes, if this is your blood in here, blood pressure forcing fluids and solutes in between the cracks is called filtration. And then I have oxygen coming right through the cell and carbon dioxide going right out through the cell in the process called diffusion. So it's got to be simple squamous epithelium. Okay. Then let's wrap this up by going through the systemic circuits. So, boom. You are a red blood cell that just got pumped out of the left ventricle. What is the first type of blood vessel that you enter?
Pulmonary vein.
You just came out of the left ventricle. You went past the
Aorta.
Valve.
okay, but what is the type of blood vessel that you go into coming out of the left ventricle?
An artery.
Artery.
Yeah, it's got a special name though.
The aorta.
That's an example of it, but what category of blood vessel does the aorta fall into?
Oh, large.
Elastic arteries. Okay, So this is our first category, elastic arteries. And our example of an elastic artery is the aorta, and it's known for two things. It carries blood under
High pressure.
the highest pressure of any blood vessel in the body, and it acts as a
Reservoir.
pressure reservoir, because as that blood comes out, some of that energy is absorbed by the elastic fibers, and then they give it slowly back to take the high highs off blood pressure and to take the low lows off. Then we go into the next category of arteries called
Muscular artery.
muscular. Now you guys are getting the hood here. Muscular arteries. Examples of muscular arteries include
Brachial. And the renal,
brachial, and
femoral.
femoral. And the two things that they are known for doing is to
Oh, they vasoconstrict and they pump.
vasoconstrict and vasodilate as a method to control
The lymph
blood pressure regulation. And they also
Extremities.
feed major organs or body regions. Does that make sense? My brachial artery is feeding an arm. That's a major body region. My femoral arteries are feeding my legs. Major body region. My renal arteries are feeding my kidneys. Major body organ. So they feed big major body organs or regions. Then we go into the smallest called
Arterial.
arterioles. And arterioles have a unique structural feature that they're known for called
Precapillary.
precapillary sphincters that regulate blood flow into
Capillaries.
capillary
I see
beds.
what you're doing there.
And we already talked about the function of a capillary bed is
The exchange of filtration.
exchange of nutrients and pick up waste. And then our next one, when we get to the venous side, the smallest veins
Venules.
are venules, and they are known to do what?
Drain the capillary.
Drain the capillary beds, and then these merge together to create,
Oh.
not here, but in the middle, medium-sized veins.
That's so
the sizes are on the veins.
So stupid basic.
And examples of medium-sized veins include
Your subclavicular.
brachial, renal,
Oh, it's just the same.
femoral. And they might have special adaptations.
One-way valves.
One-way valves to prevent the blood from going back into your appendages. And then these merge into the
Large veins.
large size veins,
With the
such
lowest
as
pressure.
The superior inferior vena cava.
superior and inferior vena cava. And they are known for two things. First thing,
Lowest pressure.
lowest pressure of any blood vessels in your body, and to help with that, the anatomical adaptation,
They're big.
super big lumens, and collectively the large size veins and the medium size veins act as for
Pressure.
blood reservoirs. Blood reservoirs.
That's the only thing
Okay,
I remember.
so that's a quick review of our 7 basic types. You got the gist of it here. Could use a little polish yet, but we still got a week before our exam. So you guys have any questions of your blood vessel chapter?
Do we need to be able to, like, I'm assuming, do all the labeling of which ones are which?
Oh, of the named blood vessels? That was a lab thing. The things that I would hold you responsible for bringing into a lecture exam would be, okay, what are the names of 4 blood vessels that take oxygen-rich blood to the brain?
The left and right common carotid.
Left and right carotids, and
The left and right vestibular. I don't remember.
they go up through what structures do you have here? These are called V-word.
V word.
Vertebrae?
Yeah. Remember this? They're actually showing them right here. So, what do they call these two blood vessels? Vertebral arteries.
was a
There's a reason they call them vertebral arteries, because they go up through the cervical vertebra. So those are the four that bring oxygenated blood to the brain. And then what are the four that drain deoxygenated blood from the brain?
The V word.
Yeah,
The
Vertebral vein?
vertebral veins, your right and left vertebral veins, and
Right and left. Jugular.
yeah.
we don't have carotid veins.
Jugular vein.
Jugulars.
Jugular.
Your jugular. So the carotids carry oxygenated blood. Jugulars carry deoxygenated blood. That's why you see when people are singing, the two that you see sticking out here on the front, those are the jugulars that are sticking out. At least I hope so, because if the
When
carotids
they're
are on the
really
surface,
mad and yelling at you.
they're in deep doo-doo. Okay, so you know that. What's the most common vein for a venipuncture? Median cubital vein.
Oh.
In your
I was like,
elbow.
what?
I was like,
Where would you find chemoreceptors in the blood vessels and baroreceptors?
oh, that's that thing up in that area. I don't
The
remember.
thing in the
That
I
was
area.
remember.
yesterday.
I
There's
remember.
two locations where you would find baroreceptors and chemoreceptors. Where would it make sense? Where would I want to make sure that I have proper blood pressure and proper
In the
oxygenation?
brain?
Okay, so where would I put those receptors then?
In the, yeah, it's
In the neck. In the what?
The carotid and the jugulars.
In the carotids. Well, jugulars, that's deoxygenated. Your hell, it's
Oh.
already been deoxygenated. So you put it in the carotids because they're supposed to be carrying oxygen to the brain. Remember when it splits off, your internal and external, they're right there at that branch. And then where else would it be good to check on your blood pressure and oxygen concentration?
Your
aorta.
The aortic arch. So we put them right in the aortic arch. Okay, I think that would be the stuff that I would bring in from the lab,
Okay.
because that is also a part of the lecture material. Does
okay.
that make sense?
Yes.
As far as naming of the vessels, we've already covered the major ones that are around the heart, other than knowing your examples that we went through here. Okay, that's it for lecture. I know, we will start